You were never meant to suffer. None of us were, but the only reason that we would suffer or experience that feeling is that we are just not willing to take the next step on our evolutionary journey and accept who we have become. That is true for every single person, and it's also true for our world. See, we don't even need to have suffering in our world. When I went to bed last night, or before I went to bed last night, I wrote something. I said, I was given the plan to change the world. See, I wrote it down and I sent an email to myself because I wasn't going to say it because I knew you wouldn't believe that because the way the world looks now, that doesn't even make sense, except I know that it's true. Because when you think about it, you were born to live this really wonderful, great life. Why wouldn't you be doing that? Why wouldn't you have everything that you wanted? Why wouldn't other people have that? It's because we have not understood how important we are, individually and also collectively. So then throughout civilization, things begin to change and we go through these big shifts in our world, which we are experiencing right now. And surprisingly, we can even explain that in science, which is what I've discovered. And that's why I said I was given this plan to change the world, because you begin to understand that you are this spirit, you're this eternal spirit, that you've always existed. But when you come into the world, you do different things. And if you do something that's really kind of wonderful, if you expand, if you give the world something else, then the world kind of expands. But everyone won't do that. So you have to decide if you're going to do it. And then you understand and you start to discover that it's all in consciousness. And you're thinking, it's like, wait a minute. If I have the same thing that everyone else has, why am I not really happy? Why am I not successful? Why haven't I healed? And the reason would be because you haven't accepted yourself. And the reason would be because I haven't told you how to do it. I'm saying that because we all do the same thing. We come in, we have this ability, and it just develops over time. And so you can never judge yourself for what you haven't done because you didn't know you could do it. And when I sat down and started receiving Wilhelm in 1989, I didn't know what it was going to do, except to end up at 74 now, and it gave me a philosophy that could heal my life and everything else, and everybody else could do that. But believing that is the challenge. And I'm saying that, see, because the title of what I'm saying, came through last year on this date. There is an organization. I'm going to say this because I've proven so much of it, but I'm going to start putting it down now because we have to leave things with our humankind that we know is going to make a difference. I was thinking last night, what is more important, your legacy or what all the crap that you kind of, might accumulate now? Your money, your possessions, all those things. And some people will feel that that's the most important thing. But I happen to think that there's something more, that your life matters, that you were born for a reason, and if you were to do that and own it, then the world would change. And then we would start to see everyone as coming into the world as having value. And guess what? That's what I was given. But to tell you that and have you believe it has been really challenging. And I'm saying that because it was challenging for me to believe it. We only uncover and learn things over time. So let me tell you this. We have learned that we can change anything through our thoughts. Our thoughts are electromagnetic. We have learned that we create and manifest anything in our lives and also in the world by the way we use those electromagnetic thoughts to create something. And then we also learn that any kind of disruption that we experience in our lives or in the world is when we are not using that ability to reach a higher level of understanding or consciousness that exists within us individually and that we could achieve in our world collectively, and that's what I was given. So let me read the message that came through on this date last year because today it will make more sense to you. I'm saying this because when I receive information, it's from a different place. It's a cosmic guidance, and I don't always understand it. Just like you will read something or understand something or study a course, for instance, you don't have it all right away. It's not something that you can utilize and put out into the world. That's why you study. But that's what we're always doing. Us individually and our world collectively. And the world can only do that when you decide, because you're alive now, you're the only one who's doing it, when you decide that you're going to love yourself, that you're going to move through every restriction that has held you back from being happy, from being abundant, from being in love with yourself. And see, I know all of those things, but telling you was really challenging. But we're going to change that because we're moving into a different place now where you're supposed to have everything that you want in your life, where you're supposed to prosper, where you're supposed to finally understand why you have had the life that you have had, or why you were born and what you're meant to do now. See, because that's what this philosophy says, is that everyone was born with something of value that just has to be developed as they live. But to do that, you have to let go of old stuff, old restrictions and limitations that existed within you and also within our society. And then we create something much better that we can all be proud of, and then our kids will have a really wonderful place to live. This was the message from last year. November 26, 2023. I'm giving this to you today. As you can say, I'm recording this on November 25th, but tomorrow's the 26th, so this will help. I'm saying this because there's an order in the universe in the way that I received information, which again, I'm going to be documenting all of this. It was just showing how energies would kind of continue during our lives and in the world. Anyway, you were never meant to suffer. While you may have believed some of the difficulties in your life and world were thrust upon you, we can assure you it was precisely the opposite. You agreed to be alive during this time of restructuring of your evolutionary journey and your planet's ascension, and we are giving you the tools to change your perception so you might love yourself and recognize your enormous contribution. The message we provided on this date in 2012 will aid you and our upcoming conversation on your full moon. You are closer than ever to accepting your magnificent. Everything in your physical life experience is always for your highest good. Now you can see this came through on November 26th of 2012. This idea is the most difficult concept that you will encounter as you move through your life, and it is the one that can provide you with the most extraordinary sense and experience of peace when you decide to accept it. It is not difficult for you to accept it when the events and circumstances that show up are to your liking or provide you with a sense of pleasure. But it is all those other events and circumstances that you continually question their validity and purpose that are difficult. It is not that you need to learn anything through pain, as you think of it, but that the contrast of your experiences always causes you to expand, which is why why they are all for your highest good. Wilhelm. Now, please understand this. You see that what came through in 2012. I didn't know what it meant then, and I wasn't going to tell you, and I didn't know it was part of the plan for where we are now, but it is, and so are you. That is the other thing that you will come to understand and accept. When I discovered that I was actually receiving and understood this configuration that was going on, wow, getting others to see that was challenging, because what happens is you must be patient with yourself, because you have to just know that you've been given something that has prevented you from understanding who you are and loving yourself. And you have to know that it is possible because I've done it. And I'm saying this because sometimes we live lives that we don't understand, and that was mine. But I was given everything that could cause any person to move to who they're meant to become, and then our world looks quite different as well. This past few weeks, I've put up several videos and to show you, because it's all connected. I've received things and put them together over the same day, over years and years and years, and when you read them, you go, wow, how did that happen? That's exactly what I thought. That's what it came up for me. But I'm saying to you, no matter what you're experiencing now, no matter what you're witnessing in the world, you came to do something wonderful, and all you have to do is decide to discover it and uncover it. I had to do that as well, but I created a path, but that was the life that I was meant to have. You're meant to have something else. but it is within you, and it's probably calling you right. It is calling you right now. So if you were to do that, we would start to see changes in our world. So that's what I'm doing as well. And I want you to understand that everything that I've put out, you can see, talked about my doubt, because I'm receiving all this very clear information, but just and held it back from day one of when I started in 1989. So you can never judge yourself for what you have done or not done. You still have time, and I would say that probably the time for you to do it is now. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're able to hear this and listen to this video, but please subscribe to the channel, because I've been working myself working myself to the bone, basically putting up stuff just so you could understand what was happening in our world, because the more of us who do that, we will end up having great lives and then manifest a wonderful world. Everyone won't believe that. You may not believe that, but you may. You might just. And if you're a person who has come to any Wilhelm channeling session, or if you're in the program, you already know that. And so you can start telling others, because you've moved to a different place of understanding yourself, and you can help others, which is what we're all meant to do when we don't fear who we are. And I will tell you, and I know this firsthand, the only thing that will hold you back in your life is your fear. You will always fear yourself, because you can accomplish so much more, and it's always outside of you, and it's in that unknown that we have come to fear. So the process is gently moving through it, stepping into who you're meant to become, and living a glorious life. And I know every person can do that, because I've been given the blueprint. You just have to become willing to love yourself. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe to the channel, share this with others, and just kind of spread the light of who you are, because you came to do something really wonderful in our world. See you soon.